So now we're day one of refreshing the levain to make my bread this week. So after I made my bread last time, I put the levain in this. So it's been 2 days. So now I'm gonna refresh it because in 2 days, 3 days, I'm gonna make my bread. So in general, I take my scale, a glass, my levain, a teaspoon. The levain is still active and the levain is not dead. I try to put between 5 to 10 grams of levain. Then I take some water from the tap, pretty much maybe like 20 degrees. And I put like 12 grams. Usually it should be 10% of levain, but it doesn't really matter, it'll be fine. Then I stir a little bit. And I'm gonna add flour. You can see 650, but it's still 65. And if you wanna get information about the flour, what type of flour you should use, I'll make this video and you can check it. And I just stir everything. So I just refreshed the levain. I just cover it, put it here with my flours, and we'll see tomorrow. So now it's pretty much here. And tomorrow, day 2, refresh 2. Day 2 of the sourdough bread. So yesterday I made this. It's already beautiful. So now we are the morning and I'm gonna refresh again. I take out, unfortunately, most of the levain. So I just keep a little bit. Why do I do this? Because to refresh my levain, I need 10% of it. And otherwise I'm gonna get far too much. So first, as usual, levain. I put 15 grams of water and 13 of flour. And as usual, I just stir everything. So now it's done. It took pretty much 2 minutes to make. And I leave it here until tonight. This is how the levain is now. So I'm not gonna show you the whole process now because you saw it already. What I want to say is just I'm gonna do it the levain now for tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning I will make the bread, and because it's gonna stay a little bit long, so I'm gonna do the levain with cold water. Not too cold, but maybe like 13, 14 degrees. I'm gonna make this. I will make like 400 grams of levain. That means I'm gonna take this. I'm not gonna waste anything, and you will see tomorrow. Okay, that's my beautiful levain for tomorrow. It's half full, but tomorrow morning, maybe it's gonna a little bit get over the top. Hopefully not, and we'll see tomorrow. So we are day 3, and that's exactly what I said yesterday. Look at this beautiful levain. So I'm gonna make the bread now. The levain I put here. Scale. So I have the choice of flour. I have T75. This one is Swedish, I don't know what is it. This one is 680, so 65. Well, I'm gonna use those two. I wanted to have some wholemeal flour, but I don't have any. So now I need the water. And today I think the temperature of this is 20. The levain is 21. That means I'm gonna take some water at about 25 degrees. Now I make my bread for 1 kilo of flour, which makes me 2 big breads. Actually, I forgot to film, so I'm gonna explain. So first, I put the water in this. Then I put the levain. I put everything, what I had from this. As you can see, I didn't scrap everything because this is what I'm gonna keep. The leftover, I will put it in a small jar and for maybe 2 days. I will leave it like this because I don't want to refresh every day. I don't need it yet. I don't want to bother. So I will put in the fridge. So water, levain, and I put 1 kilo of flour. So I use this flour I bought this summer, leftover of Swedish flour. And I put this flour I bought. And for the mixing, it's a KitchenAid. And this hook is very shit one. It's really hard to mix the dough with this. I'm just gonna mix like 2 minutes. 24 grams. I just leave it next to the mixer. Now that's enough for the first mixing. Just like 2-3 minutes to mix the dough. I put the salt now, just not to forget it. I just cover with the plastic and I'm gonna leave it for maybe 1 hour. I do fermentally, so water, levain, flour. I leave it for 1 hour. So yes, and like I said, you see, I just take the leftover of levain, put it here, and that's more than enough. So this is gonna stay in the fridge for 2 or 3 days. And I'm not gonna even refresh it, no need to bother. I close and in the fridge. And all this cleaning. What I forgot to say about this bread is, in general, I make it when I stay home the whole day, because this is sourdough bread. So I need to fold it a few times, then I need to shape it, and then I need to bake it, so it's gonna take the whole day. In general, I make it in the evening, leave it in the fridge for the night, and bake it in the morning. But today I make it in the morning, I will put it in the fridge for the afternoon, and tonight I will bake it. I need the bread early morning tomorrow. It's been an hour, the salt is already inside, 5 minutes in first speed. So I'm gonna check the temperature of the dough, which is 24 degrees. There's still the gluten network almost properly done. I'm just not really satisfied with the mixing, but well, it's gonna be okay because it's gonna have like 3 hours rest with some folding in the middle, so the bread should be nice. So now I cover it with plastic and I leave it for 1 hour. Okay, so now it's been an hour. So what I do is I'm just gonna fold the dough. So I work with water. I don't like to work with flour. You can see the gluten network, which is quite nice now. So the fold is just and you can see the dough has now lots of strength. Nice round like a ball. So I just put it back and I leave it for another hour. Now it's time for the second fold. That's my dough. Looks nice actually already, huh? Look at this. Don't need to stretch it too much. I do on each side. And I just make a round and I cover. Now I'm gonna leave it for 1 more hour and I will divide in 2 and I will shape. Okay, so that's my dough. That's the final step of making this bread. I put flour. That's beautiful dough. So for this bread, I will use a metal tin and also a banneton. I don't take a scale for this. I just try to make half-half, maybe a little bit more for the tin. So this one looks a little bit bigger. Quite tight. Beautiful. Where's the other one? And I'm gonna leave it for 15 minutes like this, and in 15 minutes I'll come back and I'll shape it. Okay, so it's been 15 minutes, so I'm gonna do the insta shaping, because in a bakery, well, you don't do this, it takes too much time. And into the banneton. I want it a little bit longer, so for this one I'm gonna do a normal shaping. 1 fold bottom, 1 fold on top. If you want to learn how to shape bread, I made a video. I give you all the tips to shape batter, round, baguette. So that's very interesting video if you want to learn. So I do like this. I fold like this again. And I close the seam. So as I said, it's good length. I put inside. I pressed a little bit to make it equal everywhere. Maybe I'm gonna leave them 1 hour here to prove a little bit, and I will put in the fridge until tonight for the baking. So that's the bread I made. Look quite good, huh? I would expect more big bubbles. I would prefer this, but well, I'm not really gonna complain. I'm quite happy with this. It's nice color, nice shape. So yes, that's how I made my bread at home. And it wasn't meant to teach you. It was more like showing exactly how I make the bread. And hope it was interesting to watch. And see you on the next video. Ciao.